How you doing, guys? This is Andrew from Douglas Moon Fragrance, and this is the channel where I review everything from the luxurious to the cheap and everything in between. I'm just a regular guy with a job, a wife and kids in a house. I don't have a lot of money to just throw around. Basically, you could say when it comes to my fragrance passion and my love for scent, I'm living on a budget, as a lot of you out there might be. But that doesn't stop me from having a lot of different fragrances that I'm interested in and want to get the chance to potentially own and try out one day. But before I do, I like to hear what other people think about them, and I like to give them a shot myself. The whole point of this channel is for me to do the same for you. If you're curious about any of the scents that I'm talking about before you go out there and spend the money and commit to actually having them, I want to give you as honest and unsponsored of a thought and opinion as I can. But keeping in mind, everything I say is subjective, so it might be a little bit different for you. But today, I'm talking about one that's definitely popular in the fragrance world, or at least it's related to one that's very popular in the fragrance world. But a lot of people may or may not actually have strong feelings about this. You might not even have smelled it just yet. But this is Versace Eros Flame. I am going to tell you right away that obviously everything you see me review, I've already smelled before I do this. I'm not just taking it out of a box and smelling it for the first time. I'm just going to be smelling it and reacting and telling you about it as we go. And this fragrance is one that I personally hated when I first opened it up. I hated it so much because of the first notes, or at least the way initially it impacted me. I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't even look at what the notes are before I ordered it. That was very dumb of me, but we all blind buy and do it. But I hated this because I did not know what I was to be expecting from it, and the way it hit me, it just wasn't for me. Maybe I was in the wrong mood, and I thought about throwing it away. And I tried it again just a few more times, just for fun. But my wife smelled it, or she over-smelled it walking past me, and she loved it. After a moment for it to settle down, she was absolutely crazy about it, and I told her, well, I was planning on throwing this out, and she said, please, for the love of God, don't do that. Give us some time. I love it. She loves citrusy things. She went crazy about it. She said, please don't throw it away. So I gave it some time, gave it time to cool down, and next thing you know, this has actually become one of my absolute favorite scents in the entire world. That may sound silly. It may not make a lot of sense. I'm going to explain to you what I didn't like about it, but why I absolutely love it now and why I had to give it a chance. So the notes for this, or at least the top note, that's very different from the original Versace Eros. This only comes in an EDP as far as I know. But the Versace Eros, especially the EDP for the Versace Eros, the normal, the blue bottle, is a citrus top note. That's, if you've ever smelled it, you know what I'm talking about. It's got that very lemon, fresh, lime, citrus type of blend going on. But this has a huge difference in the fact that its top note is blood orange. So also a citrus, or mandarin orange, something along those lines. Different things online, whatever. But that is obviously different from like your lemon lime type of scent going on. And it is very much like orange peel, super duper strong, like in your face when you first give it a good spray. And that is something that hit me in a way I was not really expecting. It mixes with the pepper and the patchouli notes and stuff that it says is underneath all that, the rosemary. So it's like a mandarin orange rosemary type of blend going on there that falls down into the original vanilla-y kind of citrus notes of the original Eros. When I smell it on the atomizer here, which I did not do before I sprayed it for the first time, it actually smells wonderful. You smell that orange creamsicle type of smell that it ends up coming down to. But when you first blast it, I'm not going to lie. Or at least, I don't know what was going on the day I first smelled it. As you can see, it has a good shoot coming out of it. But it smells, the citrus is so strong when it first comes out until you get used to it, until you get a moment to really take it in. There is like this very back note. I'm not trying to throw you off of this. I'm just being honest. There is this first back note from that strong orange peel smell that's almost like a cat pee smell. It's like cat pee mixed with orange Kool-Aid or something. That sounds terrible, and I'm not doing this justice, but that is just what I was first picking up the very first time I ever smelled this. Like orangeade and cat pee or something was hitting me right at the first blast. And I see my errors in my ways now, but when it hit me, I don't know if there was something else in my nose that day. I can still smell that little bit of like a cat pee kind of smell from that citrus. And maybe other people, everybody's going to get a different smell off of this, or a different feel from citrus like that, or orange like that, than me. But that's what I get from it when I first hit it. And yet, after just a couple seconds, it actually does relax. If you stay in the area, you take it in, you start to truly get this beautiful, like, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm being honest. It goes from this very strong smell that I personally don't like, that other people around me have enjoyed the first hit off of. But it goes from the strong orangey smell to blending into a very beautiful, like I said, creamsicle-y, but not in a cheap way, type of scent. That vanilla, rosemary, patchouli type of blend really comes out so strong after that first wave cools off, especially on the skin, and it just turns into the most beautiful. It smells like if a rich person somehow had a rich chef make them the best ever orange creamsicle ice cream or something, with a hint of a little something extra, that little luxury dipped on top. And I know, again, I'm not a professional. I'm just telling you my thoughts. But it really is. It can be super harsh at first. And if you smell this and you absolutely hate the way it smells when you first spray it, before you say, I don't want that, please do give it another shot though. Because after it settles, it is incredible. And I'm going to tell you, even more than the regular Versace Eros, this bad boy, when I put it on my skin, has lasted me my full 10-hour shifts at work. It has lasted me and stayed with the same consistency almost all the way through, with that beautiful, luxurious, like laying in a warm blanket of orange creamsicle ice cream with pastries all around or something like that. Like, it's not too much. It's not gross or anything like that. It just stays so nice, sweet, but not too sweet, and it lasts forever. That's one thing I gotta say about Eros in general. The full line seems to be a very long-lasting scent, at least for me. You might have different experiences, so miles may vary. But this one, truly, the Eros Flame lasts a long time, and people around me have enjoyed it. So thankfully, they didn't have to experience what I felt the first time I blasted it. Most people only experience after I've already been a little around and it's dried off a little bit, dried down a little. But like I said, you may not like this when you first smell it, and that's just me being as honest as I can. But please go to a store. If you're interested in this, go to a store. Don't order it online before you give it a sniff, because you might end up like me. You might end up potentially throwing it away. I'm going to say, this is not extremely expensive. I got the 6.7 ounce. Sometimes I kind of overdo it and get the bigger bottles. I commit. I know what you're thinking. What an idiot. But I got the 6.7 ounce. I got it off of fragrancenet.com. So I got it for I think it's like $80, something along that lines. But retail, I think this big bottle, or even the smaller ones, are like in the $80 to $140, $150 range, something along that line. So it's not like the most expensive fragrance ever, but it definitely isn't like super dirt cheap. So if you're going to buy something like this, the Eros Flame, please go to a store. They have it at any Sephora, any Ulta, I believe, and give it a shot first. Go spray it, put it on your wrist. I do not recommend you smelling it right away. I don't. Stuff like Dior Sauvage Elixir or something like that, Armani Code Parfum. Yeah, sure, go ahead and smell it right away. It doesn't matter. It smells wonderful right out of the bottle, right out of the atomizer. Don't do that with this. Smell the atomizer if you want, but put it on your skin. Put it somewhere, that you don't mind if you don't like it. And walk around the mall or wherever you are a little bit, maybe for about 5-10 minutes. Give it some time to just dry off. Smell it, and that's what you're going to be getting the entire day. So again, you might be thinking, why would I want something I might hate right away? Again, you might not. But this is something that I do recommend. Please give it a shot, because it is wonderful. Once you get past the opening notes, if you don't like it, you might, but if you don't, once you get past those opening strong orange notes, it cools down to such a beautiful, beautiful smell. You could wear this any time of the year. I think it might be considered maybe more of a winter fragrance, but that orangey notes and creamy notes, take it there, but it can also be a summertime thing for me personally. But I don't personally really care what time of year it is. I like wearing fragrances that I like anytime, but I get that people specifically like to have ones targeted for different seasons. So definitely maybe a fall, winter-ish kind of scent, but that orange really can take it to make it any time of year, maybe spring if you want to, early spring. But this bad boy is something you could wear all the time. It could be an everyday scent for you because it's not the most expensive ever, and you can get a pretty good sized bottle. It does not take much of this. One shot on each wrist, shirt, neck, if that's how you do it, however you decide to apply fragrance. It does not take much of this to last an extremely long time. So the scent overall, the longevity of it, how much it projects off of you around you, it is a very crowd-pleasing type of scent I've experienced. Everyone, especially the ladies that I work with, love it. All of the Versace Eros line seems to be perfect for a lot of ladies. A lot of female people around me tend to enjoy this line, no matter which one you go for. But this one especially drives people insane that I work with personally. I work with a lot of different people who hate and like different types of things, especially stuff I've worn in and tried out at my job. This one's one that they really enjoy. And I know I've said that about a handful of the ones I've reviewed so far, as far as like wearing it around other people that I work with. But I just try to tell you what is and isn't maybe offensive. And this one's definitely not. It does not hit people in the jaw, but it is just right that they enjoy you when you walk by. That's been my experience. So, orangey, creamy, orange creamsicle goodness with that little hint of rosemary kind of kitchen spice type of, I know it sounds terrible, maybe in the background, a little patchouli smell, but it is fantastic. Just know that if you hit that open note, you might not like it. It might be a little too rich and a little too pungent, but if you give it a second, let that ease off your nose, it smells amazing. Or maybe you love sticking oranges into your face and just inhaling till you can't take it anymore, and in which case, you might love this from the very moment it blasts. Good for you. Hotbox your car for all I care. But I hated it at first, almost threw it away. Glad I didn't make that mistake. Thank you to my wife forever for telling me she absolutely adored this and I should hold on to it, because it has really been one that I'm going to cherish, and hopefully I'll always have rotating around into my collection. So yeah, Versace Eros Eau de Parfum, the Eros Flame, red bottle, really beautiful bottle. You probably can't really see what the colors here I got going on. Comes in the red box. So give it a shot. Like I said, try it out. If you like it, great. If you don't, hey, just make sure it cools down before you really form your opinions. It is definitely going to get you some compliments. Definitely going to be something that you will appreciate and have rotating around. I don't recommend getting as big a bottle as this unless you absolutely love it, but thankfully it comes in all different sizes. But I love this. I recommend it. It's not too expensive. So if you've enjoyed what you saw, give this a try. And also continue checking out more videos on my channel here, where I keep giving you as honest and blabbery opinions as I can. Again, I'm Andrew. This is Douglas Moon Fragrance. Hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. Hit the like and leave me a comment and tell me what you think about this. If you've smelled this before, tell me your thoughts about the rest of the Eros line. Check out my video on the EDT versus the EDP of Versace Eros, the original. And thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again on another video, and I appreciate you guys. God bless, and I love you.